Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Oh, we are getting closer and closer to another playoff game in James State. First time in history we've had a couple in a row. And, man, the stars will be out. So many superstars in this particular game. It's going to be one for the ages, no doubt about it. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show. Thank you so much for joining us each and every day, 10 to 12, your Tampa Bay-centric 2-hour sports talk. Best in the market. Nick Geddes from Outkick.com joining me as he always does. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning to you. Like you said, we're 3 days away from Bucs Rams and another exciting afternoon in Ray J.
Got my credential approved. I'm
go.
all ready to go. We're getting ready to invade Raymond James Stadium. The fans are going to be, I think it's going to be louder than last week, and that was explosive. 3 o'clock, just prime time for fans to get nice and juiced up before the game.
I got to tell you, though, I'm looking here, and you're wearing this polo.
Yeah.
It just has a random NFL logo sitting there.
Well,
you look like Rob Lowe from the Super Bowl.
It's a little homage to my good friend Sal Palantonio, who Sal Pal, every time he comes down, we take him over to the club. We play tennis, have a good time. John Clark, who joined us from Philly, played some tennis with him the other day, and he always brings me a gift. Always brings me a gift.
That's a good friend, right? That's a good gift right there.
That's a nice, beautiful NFL crisp polo,
Nike?
crisp
Nike?
white. I didn't know about.
Oh, now you got to take it off. Quick wardrobe change, real quick.
All right. Well, anyway, Sal's such a great guy, and he. So I was wearing this for Sal Pal. Appreciate it. He came on the show earlier this week. In fact, you know what? We need to re-rack that interview. That interview was so good with Sal Pal. We'll probably do a little bit of that tomorrow. We'll cut it up and get some of the good stuff out there because he was so good about what happened with Philly and really breaking it down all the way across. And we're going to break down all the playoff games today. Leo Haggerty's going to join us at 10:45. We got all the sound. We got Gronk. We got Evans. We got Arians. Antonio Winfield talk yesterday. Some news on the injury front for both teams, and I think that's going to be obviously huge this weekend. And we got Lightning as well. Brian Bradley's going to join us, and we're going to talk about the incredible game against the Kings the other night. Lightning will be back at it tomorrow night, and we'll preview that as well and kind of look at the halfway mark, what the Lightning look like right now. And boy, it's good. We'll do a little Rays update today as well. We've got our Rays rally Zoom call going on tonight. We've got a lot of fan groups hopping on, so we're just going to kind of finalize all the plans for the rally. As we sit here today, we're still pointing at March 5th, Saturday, March 5th at 10 a.m. at a to-be-disclosed location as we're working on a lot of different things in that. Very excited about it. I was working with our good friend Chris Palermo. By the way, our show brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo, who is also the muscle, the legal, and the money behind a lot of our efforts here. He is a passionate Rays fan, and he wants to keep them here full season. And we've been working on a kind of a manifesto that we're going to send to the Times to answer the letter that the Rays wrote. It was very, what's very odd about that letter that all the guys signed on to is it was never really disclosed who the author was of the letter. It was just kind of a letter, and it just seemed like all these CEOs wrote this letter. Of course, they all did not. It had to come from somewhere, and I don't know why that wasn't really made plain, right? But obviously it was the Rays who wrote the letter, or maybe it was the Times editorial board. I don't know. Maybe one of the two, but it wasn't really clear. It will be clear who's writing the letter in the Save Our Rays Full Season movement, and we ask you to join that. We're probably going to have the Facebook page up and running by next week, and that'll be kind of the clearing spot. And, of course, our website as well, fanstreamsports.com. We'll have all the information on it as well, so you can check in from time to time. Of course, listen to the show. We'll update you every day on what's going on. We'll have new people added to the presentation. So the plan is basically to have a nice rally. I don't think we're going to do a walk through Ybor as we had originally planned, but that might be part of it. It just kind of depends on what spot we land at. but more than that, we're just gonna have a rally, a bunch of speakers, a bunch of videos, and have some fun, and really have some fun with Rays fans, and we'll have a lot of different guys, come up and just celebrate baseball in the Tampa Bay area, and that's one of the things that we really are emphasizing in our approach. This is not a divisive sister city approach where you're pitting one city against another. Neither one of them wants a sister city plan. Neither the fans don't like it either place. The whole thing is just incongruent and doesn't have any harmony to it. Like I kind of wrote, like I wrote in the manifesto, so to speak. It's with when you're talking about sister cities, St. Pete and Tampa Bay in Tampa are sister cities, right? We're sister cities. We're across the bay. That's a sister city. It's kind of, as I wrote, it's kind of like a father giving his young blooming bride away to another city where she will call home now, and family can come visit easily. It's just right across the bay. So it's kind of as a father gives away a bride, which you will experience in your wedding. Sister city in Montreal? No, that's like a French guy coming down and stealing your wife, and you got to watch them play on TV 1,500 miles away. No, thank you. No, thank you. So if there's any sister city stuff going on here, it should be St. Pete and Tampa, and celebrate that, and celebrate that this is where the Rays were formed, and St. Pete brought them up in their youth, in their infancy, and we've had a great run in St. Pete, and now we're going to hand it off to Tampa, which is obviously much more well placed for this organization to grow into an even better organization. In the middle of the market where there's 2 million people within a 30-minute drive. You're closer to Orlando. You can build a new iconic stadium in a bustling downtown area. There's so much positivity that goes with that, and there's so much negativity that goes with the sister city scheme. So that's basically what our manifesto will say and debunk a lot of the false narratives that the Rays have been peddling. And by the way, I saw Brian Auld is going to do another Smoke and Mirrors show at Eddie V's in early February. Posted it on my Facebook page. We'll get it up on Twitter as well. So I encourage all of our supporters and Save Our Rays full season to buy the tickets at Eddie V's, and we'll all get in there and have a nice little spirited Q&A with Mr. Auld. And I think we'll continue to get our story out there, and it's not, we don't want to be necessarily antagonistic against the Rays, although I'm thoroughly insulted by what the ownership of this team is trying to do and abandon this market for half the season. But we try to keep it positive when we're trying to keep, just emphasize the full season and the harmony that comes with that. All right, let's get into the Bucs, shall we? The Bucs talked yesterday. Wednesday, obviously, is the first day where teams can talk, and we get a kind of feeling for the rivalry. First, the injury updates on both sides. Jordan Fuller and Taylor Rapp, their starting safeties. Looks like both of those guys are going to be out again this week. I mean, they're as desperate as they signed Eric Weddle last week, who hasn't played since the 60s, I believe.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. So if they're going to rush 5 like they always do, that puts a lot of pressure on the safeties on the back end. And if Brady can get some time, they can work on those safeties. That's a point of weakness for them. And that Byron Leftwich and Brady are drawing up some stuff right now for that.
Yeah, I think the bigger development is Andrew Whitworth, who looks like he might be out. And if
the
that's
big left tackle,
if that's the case, I understand Jason Pierre-Paul. That's his side typically. I'd like to see Shaq Barrett on that side then if Whitworth's not there. I would absolutely, because JPP I don't think is going to win many matchups. Joe Tryon hasn't won many matchups lately. Slide Barrett over there to that side. I think he'll have a lot of success. It's
a great idea. And also, as we saw, Winfield and Edwards coming off the corner of safety blitzes, that puts pressure on tackles to communicate with the running backs, and picking those blitzes. And that's, just like the Bucs are going to have to make some adjustments with Tristan Wirfs out. And I don't expect Tristan Wirfs to play this week, and I'm not sure we're going to see him much in the playoffs. If he indeed has a high ankle sprain, you're not coming back from that anytime soon.
We'll have to see. We know how in tune it seems like Ian Rappaport and some of those guys are, and he seemed kind of optimistic. I heard him yesterday. Good. He was on McAfee, and he kind of sounded optimistic about it.
About
Wirfs and Jensen. So,
well, I think Jensen will play.
Yeah, I think Jensen definitely will play, but
neither one of them practiced yesterday. But that's a walkthrough. That's not consequential. Today's much more consequential, and we should have updates on who's out there late in the show. So stand by for that. Also, Leonard Fournette is a key player. But frankly speaking, as good as Keyshawn Vaughn and Gio Bernard played last week, I'm not as dubious if he does not play. I think those two guys really, really played well. They didn't make any huge mistakes, no turnovers. Gio did drop one pass early on, but got in the groove and ended up being the second leading rusher and the second leading receiver for the Bucs in this game and hadn't played in a month and a half. So that I think we're in good shape in the running back department. But hey, if Fournette comes back, I mean, that's a huge bonus. Huge bonus. And remember, Gronk went out early in this game. There's really not a whole lot you can take from the first game. Both teams are so different at this point with the injury situations where they are. Cam Akers is back at full speed, but a lot has been made the last couple of days. Greg Allman wrote a great story. Joey Knight as well today about his coming back from Achilles surgery in 6 months. They did a different type of surgery. They've radically changed the way they did it. This particular doctor did. And I didn't see any in the stories where they mentioned stem cells, but I know that stem cells are being used very aggressively now in sports science. And it really it cuts down the rehab time tremendously because it regrows that tissue and heals that tissue faster than it normally would. And
we saw him the other night. I mean, he was cutting on that thing. He was making guys miss. 95 yards coming off of that. We didn't get really a chance to see a lot of him in his rookie year because he was kind of injured a little bit, and he's pretty damn good. He's pretty damn good. And Michelle.
This just in. Yeah. He's pretty damn good. But they've got issues with safety. They've got issues at offensive line as well with Andrew Whitworth. So it's both teams are battling injuries, and that's I think that's appropriate. And they have to make adjustments, and the team that makes the most adjustments will win. Let's get into some of the sound, and let's start with Bruce Arians with a little bit of the injury updates and maybe some contingency plans. We'll start with number one if Wirfs can't go.
Oh yeah, we'll be fine. We've got guys who, Nick stepped in and played a really big ball game in Indy, and we have different guys who can play multiple positions. So Goody and Joe will have them ready. That's for sure.
Yeah, I truly expect that Alex Kappa will push out to right tackle, and Stinney will start at right guard. That gives you your most experienced group right there, guys that have played through the playoffs last year. So I obviously you're not as good if you don't have Tristan Wirfs. But hey, if Wirfs can go, if Rappaport is correct on that, that's going to be huge. That's going to be, first of all, it tells us that he doesn't have a high ankle sprain. And he might be able to come back for the rest of the playoffs as well. That would be huge for the Bucs. All right, here's let's do number two. Here's Arians talking about Mike Edwards, who is not doesn't get a ton of pub because there's so many other stars running around, but this dude is making plays everywhere.
Yeah, he just has a great knack of reading quarterback's eyes, kind of knowing where this thing's going, and either intercepts it or he's going to catch every deflection. That's for sure, because he's always going to be heading in that direction. He's a very heady player, and that helps him get to the spot where he needs to be.
Yeah, he's been a difference maker.
And maybe it's like the lack of snaps he gets because Bunting always has been that kind of slot corner for them, or nickel corner, whatever you want to call it. But every time Edwards is in there, he's making plays. And I don't see Bunting making those plays when he's in there this year. I've seen Mike Edwards do it. So even if Bunting plays this game, I think I want to see more Mike Edwards. But again, we've been saying that all year long.
I think, in kind of looking at the tape, it seems like when that position is calling for man-to-man cover, SMB is in there. When it's calling for run support, blitzing, maybe some hybrid stuff like that, Edwards seems to be the guy that they use in that situation. He's obviously not to the level of Rondé Barber, but he kind of has that stature, that instinct for the ball, that same that Rondé always had. He's always in the right place at the right time. He sacks the quarterback, he gets interceptions, gets pick sixes. I don't know if that guy gets enough credit. He had 2 pick sixes in one game. Who's done that here? Rondé Barber, right? So, hell of a player. Speaking of a hell of a player, Arians talked about Akers coming back from his injury. Interestingly enough, of course, Arians is battling an Achilles injury of his own.
Yeah, he could probably rehab a hell of a lot harder than I can. And but it is amazing sports science, what's going on in the world today, people coming back from ACLs in 6 months and Achilles and things that were 16 months 2 years ago. I think it's just going to get better. I think with the things that we're inventing and different ways the doctors are doing it, just sports science amazes me. I wish I could do it.
I bet you do. Wait till we get the cyborg NFL players, man. There'll never be any injuries. That'll be good. He also talked about the Rams pass rush. Let's do number 6 from Arians. This is obviously a key point of the game, probably the biggest segment of the game, protecting Brady.
No, it helps a bunch because they're going to be there sooner or later. That's for sure. You can only hold them out so long, and you still got to take some shots down the field. I mean, everything's not going to be dink and dunk, and so you just have to maximize how you're doing it, who you're blocking, who's got who, and they're doing a good job. They bring 5 a lot, so it's hard to double team anybody. So it helps a bunch. Yeah,
they asked about Brady getting rid of the ball faster than anybody, 2.1 seconds, and I think we'll see a lot of that. And I think you're going to see them start in no huddle again. He was asked about. Do we have that one on there? Or that was at. I think that was Gronk. We'll get to Gronk in a second. And then asked about Cooper Kupp. I mean, he had 9 catches in the first game, a touchdown. I mean, the guy smashed all records this year. He's just tremendous. And interesting, I think, the way Arians talked about defending him in this clip, number 5.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best. I think he and Chris Godwin, to me, are the best all-around receivers in the league because they block, they do everything, inside, outside, and they're very comparable.
Who said that?
And you know how I think about Chris. So Cooper is he's a challenge, man, and you can't double team him all day, that's for sure. And they got too many other weapons, so you just gotta own up your guy and fight him. He is a hard tackle, just like Chris is.
Yeah, he's surprisingly good. Who was it? I think it was maybe Ryan Clark. He said, "Stop paying attention to his boyish looks and his paint job." Cooper Kupp is
he's
legit.
Bad dude.
He's a bad man.
Yeah. Let me listen to these numbers too. 3 games against the Bucs, 9 catches, 121 yards and a touchdown in 2019. 11 catches, 145 yards in 2020, and then 9 catches, 90 yards, touchdown in 2021. That by far is his best production against a single team in the league.
So if we're not double teaming him, maybe we should.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Remember the last game? He was just running into those soft spots in the zone all day.
Yeah.
All day. And Sean McVay, he's really good at picking apart his zone. And so, I mean, they got to be aggressive. They have to be aggressive and play man-to-man, I think.
And they're going to have to change something because clearly Cooper Kupp's got the best of them. And, their offense are the best of the Buccaneers. This is incumbent upon Todd Bowles to come up with something different. You can't go with the same game plan, certainly. I know you got – last time we played, we didn't have Jamel Dean or SMB, and that's a big deal. That changes the way you do things. So let's see what Todd Bowles comes out with. I think this chess match with Sean McVay is going to be tremendous.
And he should do it because, last year in the playoffs, remember Todd Bowles played soft coverage all year long and we were kind of ripping him.
Yeah.
And then he got to the postseason and he changed the philosophy. They played man-to-man because you have man-to-man corners.
Right.
Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean are man-to-man guys, and they felt more comfortable, and you got turnovers that way. The Bucs get turnovers when they play that aggressive style.
I think, and we've talked about this a lot from Bowles of last year, and some of the things that he's told his players in the offseason and some of the interviews he's done. He did after that Kansas City game just become much more. Even though he's always been a head blitz guy, he became even more aggressive. I think just the defense in general it's one thing to scheme stuff up. It's another thing to when the defense is bringing a different energy level and a different intensity. And I saw that without question last year. And I think, and that's what got me so excited about the playoff game, the first playoff game. The offense was great, but the level of intensity that the defense played at, I think they had 36 rushing yards at halftime. The Eagles did. I think they only had 120 total yards through about 3.5 quarters when the game was still in doubt. That was a defensive beatdown. Look, the Eagles aren't, the greatest show on turf. I get it. But that intensity level combined with the crowd was a winning edge. And it has to be again this week. There's no doubt about that. They got to bring it. All right, let's get a little from Mike Evans as well. Talking about the Rams defense, which is obviously star-studded and has given them fits.
They have a lot of superstars, on that defense, a lot of great players, and they always play really hard, communicate well, tackle well, bring a lot of energy, talk trash. They're a really good defense.
Jalen Ramsey. But again, they're going to be without their top two safeties, so there's going to be opportunities for Tom Brady to get the ball down the field, to Mike Evans especially. Another guy I think that plays a huge role in this game is Scotty Miller. I think Scotty Miller is going to be used very much in the deep passing game. I think the Bucs are going to try to stretch the field. I also think they're going to come out in the no huddle, and we'll hear Gronk talk about that a little bit later on. Mike was also asked about the similarities in playing the Rams and the Saints of last year. Interesting question.
Well, we know postseason is a whole different ball game. You get the best of the best, all-out effort. Everybody's straining to make sure they're playing the next week. And I always like playing a team that beats us, especially like even in the regular season. Like if we play a division opponent, they beat us the first time, I want to beat them bad the second time. Or like last year, we played the Saints twice. I wanted to play them because, they beat us twice in the regular season. I wanted to play them again this year, but, it didn't happen that way. So, definitely looking forward to the challenge come Sunday.
Look, everybody tries to look at what the Saints did to the Buccaneers and tries to recreate that. Every team does that. This is not, but you have to have the personnel to do it. And I think the Rams do have obviously some of the best defensive personnel. You're talking about, Von Miller, Floyd, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey on this defense. I mean, obviously there's a lot of stars there, but they don't know the Bucs like the Saints know the Bucs. There's just a different level of knowing each and every player that you're going up against. And there's just no question that they're in our heads. The Saints, there's no question about that. But I don't think the Rams will be able to match what they did, especially without those two safeties.
I think, though, the way that it ended last year and we got the Saints in the divisional round, and then this year you're getting the Rams, teams that have had your number, like you said, it's forcing, I think, the coaching staff to dig a little deeper. And I think it makes the Bucs a better team when they have to face it head on, I mean, it's put up or shut up time. You have to learn how to overcome this team or you're going home. And that happened last year and they were able to do it. They got to do it again this year.
Yeah. Listen, if the Bucs can get a couple of big plays down the field, that's going to be, because I think it's going to be a defensive game. I think for the most part, you're going to see some, two teams that are going to struggle to move the ball against two really, really good defenses. And if you can get a cheap one, so to speak, a big play over the top, or you can get chunk plays, that's going to be huge in this game. Huge. And with, those two safeties out and Mike Evans and Scotty Miller going down the field, and don't lose sight of Gronk. I mean, who kind of controls the middle of the field? It's, linebackers in some degree, but safeties as far as Gronk gets downfield. And those guys are going to have to deal with the best tight end who's playing probably as good a football as he's played in his career.
And I'm curious if they kind of slide, Jalen Ramsey over to that part, because he's been moving a lot more this year than he has before. Usually he would just stay on that left side. Maybe they put him in the middle of where Gronk, because I don't think they have anybody else on that defense who can match up with him at the moment.
No, I agree 100%. All right, here's Mike Evans talking about the home playoff game and what a difference it means for the Buccaneers.
The traveling is the hardest part. I love playing in other stadiums to see what their fan base is like and kind of feel like your back's against the wall and shutting the crowd up. I like playing away games for that part, but I definitely hate the travel, especially if it's, over a 3-hour flight.
Listen, I don't think people are talking enough about this, to be quite honest. You got a team that's coming here on a short week. They're flying across the country, playing somewhat in the early window, albeit two hours earlier. The trends on those teams winning and losing are I think it's something like 85% you lose. And you might say, well, this is a playoff game and there's not going to be a lack of energy. You can't fool your body. You can't fool your body. There's only so much time you have to recover, and there's only so and traveling takes it out of you. You don't sleep as well in a different bed than you do at home. At least I don't. I think most people are like that. And you heard Mike Evans say about it. Traveling, it kind of takes another day away from preparation. You're already down a day. I mean, it's not necessarily the best situation for the Rams. There's no question about it. So that makes a difference. That makes a difference, especially in a game I think is going to be very tightly contested until the fourth quarter. All right, here's another one from Mike asked about learning from past matchups against the Rams.
I remember we got down early. I know we were down early, so we started throwing the ball a lot in the second half. They play a lot of zone coverage. Their D-line, got out there is pretty good. And we just started slow. I remember that. Ramsey last year in 2020 followed me the whole game. This year, they're using him more in the nickel spot, but he guards the number one guy sometimes still. So, looking forward to that matchup, and hopefully we can execute better this time around.
Yeah, when I'm going to go back and look at that game a little bit more this evening. I know there's so many different players that it's not as learned, but there's obviously some things you can glean from that game in terms of personal matchups, blocking assignments, the one-on-one assignments. I would think that Carlton Davis is going to draw Cooper Kupp as much as possible because he is our best cover corner. But I think Bowles is going to try to take that away and see what, put the pressure on Stafford to go to Odell Beckham, to go to secondary receivers, go to Higbee, and just kind of see what they can do without him.
Yeah, I want to make Odell Beckham beat me more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know everybody's singing his praises. He was great the other night.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. I still don't think he's the same player that he's been before. I think Jamel Dean could have success in that matchup if that is the matchup.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have to. Jamel played his best game probably as a Buccaneer last week. And that matters for a corner. Confidence matters. It's kind of like a quarterback situation. If you're playing well and I think you get a little bit more, swagger, and you have to be confident in those situations against those guys.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage too. I mean, you go back to that regular game or the game before, Deshaun Jackson was still there. Remember
That's right.
that?
Yeah, and he got up on us.
He beat you over the top.
Yeah.
Robert Woods was still there, and Robert Woods is like that kind of Swiss Army knife guy where he could just line up everywhere and beat you. It's just a lot different dynamic. Odell Beckham's definitely a one-on-one type of receiver, and he's going to have to win that single matchup. So I think this time around you can concentrate on Cooper Kupp just a little bit more here.
And I would say, honestly, this version of the Rams is a little bit more dangerous because they can run the football.
Yes.
I don't think they were as good running the football earlier in the season. And they, what they did last week was, that's tough to defend. When you got Cam Akers and Sony Michel, who's a pretty damn good back as well, and a good offensive line and a threat of the pass like that, it's a much tougher cover and certainly way different than last week. I mean, the Bucs basically just said, Jalen Hurts, come beat us, and they knew he couldn't do it. Matthew Stafford is a huge step up from that. But look, as Bruce Gradkowski said yesterday, who grades every throw, Matthew Stafford is going to throw you some. He's going to make some stupid decisions on Sunday. And you got to catch those. Jamel Dean dropped one in the first game. That's huge. I used to say this about Drew Brees all the time, and we saw it in the playoff game last year against the Saints. He's going to make mistakes and throw you some, but when he does, you got to catch him. You got to catch him. You have to take advantage of those opportunities. Dropped interceptions will be huge on Sunday. Brady will be pressured. He'll probably throw a couple of bad balls as well, but Stafford is much more inclined to do it. A lot of people asking me how I would handicap this game. I think obviously the number one thing is, can they protect? If he gets pressured 16 times like he did in the original one, and that was with the offensive line intact, the Bucs have no shot to win this game. No shot to win the game.
And Von Miller wasn't on that team
either. Exactly. They just don't. They're going to have to come up with a protection package, or I like to see them come out in the no huddle again, because that tires out your rush. It keeps them in very predictable situations, and I think it's advantage Buccaneers, and they clearly showed that they're smart enough and well coached enough to be able to execute that from the very beginning. I think that's a winning edge that can neutralize that pass rush tremendously. But I think so much of this game is even. It's just across the board. Every team, both teams have really sensational players, playmakers everywhere. So to me, where the Bucs have the edge is at quarterback. Obviously, I think Brady is much more prepared in the playoffs than Matthew Stafford. I mean, Stafford played great last week. You know, that they didn't ask him to do much. He was at home, friendly confines. Now he's going to have to deal with the noise, and you guys will be loud. The pressure ramps up a little bit more, and this is something that for Brady is commonplace. For Stafford, it is not. This is new, and that's why I think the fans are going to be so important. And if they can get him rattled early on, that's huge. So give me the better coaching staff overall, and I think Sean McVay does a great job. But I think this coaching staff is really tuned in. I love their game plan last week. I think the Bucs are evolving into playing some of their best football. Last week was a tremendous effort, very clean game. And so give me the more reliable playoff quarterback, the better coaching staff overall, and a home field advantage when you talk about the two teams being really, really even. So that's, I mean, if I got to bet this game, and the Bucs are still 3-point favorites?
3-point favorites.
Yeah. You know, I think the Bucs win the game. I think they cover. And then it's on to Green Bay, or maybe not. And maybe welcoming in the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to look at what's going on in that matchup and the other playoff matchups coming up this weekend. What a weekend of great football in the NFL. So stay with us. 3-minute break. Back in a moment.
Who wants free mobile service? I do, and you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com. Attention home buyers or refinance candidates. It is a great time to purchase or refinance. Home values are going through the roof right now. You've got so much equity, time to tap into that equity, get the cash, and make sure you're making the right financial decisions in your life. Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services in Tampa can help you out on all those fronts. I've known Fitz for over 30 years. He's done 3 of my mortgages. In fact, Scott has done over 3,000 loans in the Tampa Bay area for many of our coaches, athletes, from Bucs to Bulls. And he can save you big money. AMS is a wholesale broker. They will shop your loan to dozens of banks and let them compete for your business. Quick story, one listener had a done deal with a big national mortgage company who was promising a 2.75 interest rate. Well, when it came time to lock in, it was 3.25. Emailed Scott, got him the actual 2.75, saved him over $3,000 in first-year payments and $2,200 in lender's fees. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, scott@amstampa.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo, fighting for your rights and protecting your home and sinkhole, hurricane, roof damage, defective stucco, and construction defects. To fight the builders as well as the big insurance companies, making sure you get all you deserve. Let Chris Palermo fight those folks for you, handling both residential and commercial. Call Chris at 813-221-5636 or PalermoPA.com for a free consultation. If you have some of those cracks in your stucco on the side of your house, you can have some real water damage behind there. Chris knows how to handle all that stuff, and it's best to get on it early before your house really gets messed up, because that can bring black mold, all kinds of terrible stuff. So don't let it sit. And you probably don't know this, but you have a warranty, and these builders will be culpable. So find out if you have a case. 813-221-5636. You go to PalermoPA.com. All right, we have an update on the Bills-Chiefs game, which is going to be I cannot wait. There's trouble in Kansas City. What the hell is going on?
Starting linebacker Willie Gay was arrested last night on a misdemeanor charge, and what I'm reading here is he was over at the house of his son's mother, and they got into a big argument, and I guess he started breaking a bunch of stuff in her house. So
I think there was a vacuum that took a turn for the worse.
Yeah, a vacuum that's no longer working. No longer, no.
It should not be. We're not joking about domestic violence, but according to his agent, for what that's worth, nobody was, there was no physical abuse. It's a misdemeanor charge. It's not good. I mean, you don't need drama like this in a week like this. It's not good. It's not a good development for Kansas City.
It's like the third NFL player that's been arrested this week on something.
I know.
I'm like, what's going on here?
The whole Malik McDowell yesterday in Broward County. Keep your clothes on. Especially if you're going to a school. Let's try to keep our clothes on. We didn't mention this in the first segment. Bruce Arians was fined $50,000 for hitting Andrew Adams, popping in the back head. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. I wasn't thrilled with Bruce's response. As far as not showing any remorse for that at all, but that may have led to the fine. I don't know, but oh wow, I just got something over my. The Rays have a 1 p.m. press conference. And my phone is blowing up. What have we done? Ooh, intrigue. I will have to follow up on this in our next break and see what the hell's going on. The Rays have a 1 o'clock press conference. Interesting. What would they be announcing? I can't think. Listen, I think as much as they publicly and pretend publicly, and obviously the Times I think has been very complicit in trying to manufacture some momentum for this sister city plan where I don't think there's any at all. Maybe I wouldn't think they're backing off, but maybe they are. I mean, listen, if I have the information that the TSA feasibility studies are going to show that there is very little thirst or appetite for public money in a half season scenario, and the full season scenario is going to be much more attractive to not only the Rays but Major League Baseball. Maybe they've come to that same conclusion themselves and are saying we're dropping this whole sister city scheme and we're going to concentrate on full season and we're going to get it done. That would be the best press conference to have.
I wouldn't bank on it though.
But I wouldn't bank on it. No. You think they're digging in and going to spew some more smoke and mirrors?
They're going full steam ahead.
Sister city scheme.
Here.
All right, we'll see. Again, this is just a rumor that there's a press conference for 1 o'clock. Shocking development. I've been taken off the Really,
You make the cut. Did
no.
you?
But check with Steve Carney and some of our other Rays Twitter folks that are on the email chain. We'll try to get up with Dan Lucas too, who will be on that email chain. Interesting. I'll have to find out what's happening there. Got to go to the sources, so to speak. All right, so back to some of these other games. Injury news: Derrick Henry looks like he is going to play this week as the Tennessee Titans kind of return to who they are. And they're the 1 seed in the AFC, but nobody's talking about
They don't feel like the.
they're getting disrespected as the Bengals are coming to town. Now the Titans are 3.5-point favorites. But all everybody can talk about is Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and that whole explosive group. And why not? It's fun to watch.
I'm going to go out there and say it. I don't think the Bengals have a chance in this game. I don't. I mean, the Titans are number 1 seed.
Doesn't have a chance?
I don't think they have
No
a chance.
chance?
The Titans are number 1 seed for a reason, okay? The Bengals have the worst roster in the NFL. Let's not forget that. The quarterback is
They got
up
a lot
to
of
snuff.
shiny toys.
A lot of shiny, young, very young toys.
True.
It feels like their ceiling is win one playoff game and bow out.
Yeah.
That's what I gather from it.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
I don't think people understand how good the Titans are.
Yeah. Their defense has been playing lights out. They're much better defensively. And when they have Derrick Henry to run the football, you can control the game. I mean, the best way to control a great offense is to have a great offense yourself and keep them off the field. So they'll, and that they're going to pound Derrick Henry, who, from what I saw in the practice film, he looks 100% ready to go.
And even if he doesn't go, their running game didn't even drop off without him.
That's true. That's true.
They didn't drop off.
They had a great offensive line. I think they're really, really well coached.
Yes.
I think Vrabel does a fantastic job. They're at home. That's going to be a big advantage for them. Especially, the Bengals do a lot at the line of scrimmage. Joe Burrow, the noise will be a factor. So
and they still have the worst offensive line in football.
They do. And offensive lines are huge in the postseason. So everything is amplified. And as much as I think Joe Burrow can make some big plays, and look, that's a great equalizer. When you have an accurate quarterback and great receivers like that it can be a great equalizer. So I'm not saying the Bengals can't win, but I think the Titans are being given a little bit of a short shrift here. All right, the 49ers and the Packers. Packers are 6-point favorites in this game, and that's the night game on Saturday. The Bengals are the early game on Saturday. Bosa is going to play in this game. It looks like he's in concussion protocol, but all signs are pointing towards him playing, and that's huge. And Fred Warner looks like he's going to play as well for the 49ers.
But who's coming back for the Packers, though?
Who's that?
David Bakhtiari.
Oh, that's a big add.
And Jair Alexander.
Yeah, that's
and
huge.
Zadarius Smith.
Wow.
You're adding 3 all-pro type players into the mix here.
Wow. I didn't realize. That's right, because they didn't have to play much down the stretch, so these guys have just been resting and waiting.
Yeah, they've been recovering from injury, so they're probably going to be at their apex there on is it Sunday? Are they Sunday or Saturday? Or all games Sunday. Schedule.
For
missing me right now.
The 49ers and Packers playing Saturday night.
Yeah.
They're the late game Saturday night, and then the Bucs 3:00 on Sunday, and then the Bills and Chiefs wrap it up at 6:30 on CBS. And that that's going to be a unbelievable game. I was watching a little bit this morning and I didn't realize the Bills scored on 7 consecutive possessions, touchdowns.
Oh, it's the first perfect offensive game in NFL history.
I mean,
no punts, fumbles, anything
against that Patriots defense. Wow.
Could you imagine being at that game as a Bills fan?
Wow.
Must have been a nice atmosphere.
Oh, goodness. What was it like? Oh, you guys didn't get in.
Yeah.
Didn't get in. If you didn't hear that story, Nick went to the game with his friend and they had flight delays, got to whatever the hell they call that stadium now. Highmark Stadium does not get high marks for
no, it does not.
For fan you weren't they didn't even let you in.
No.
What was the quote from the security guard as he showed him your valid tickets at halftime?
Go F yourself and your mother.
Go F yourself and your mother.
And your mother.
Yeah, who wasn't even there.
Not even there. Why did you bring the mother in?
That's who they are. They're Buffalo.
There's no Southern hospitality.
And these weren't fans, by the way. This was the chief security guard. Go F
chief
yourself
security guard
and your mother.
Yeah. Who was drinking on the job, I think, by the way. Just going to put that out there. Interesting.
Wait, what?
I think he was drunk.
Really?
I think so.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I think there needs to be an investigation. But if you haven't picked up yet, I ain't picking the Bills for shit going forward.
Not a Bills fan.
No. Chiefs by 30.
The Mahomes magic, will it keep going? And that Buffalo defense is playing their ass off too. We haven't talked a lot about that Buffalo defense, but they, and they're the best defense against the pass in the league. So Mahomes is going to have his hands full, and I kind of like the Bills in this one.
Can they get Tyreek Hill involved at all? Like this guy, I mean, what's going on there? They can't get him the ball anymore. I don't know if teams are scheming away from him, but
yeah, they are.
But he hasn't really done much the last 4 games.
But Pringle has stepped up. The other guys have stepped up. So that's the key. You got to have other guys that you can count on. And, I think they were too reliant on Kelsey and Hill last year, and it bit them in the ass in the Super Bowl. And now I think they developed an offense that's a little bit more varied. And, Mahomes has just, become a much more conservative player. And that helped them tremendously. I think early on in the season, he was just getting a little cocky, but now he's playing, I think, much more taking less chances, and it's paying off big time. All right, we'll take a quick break. I'll try to find out what's going on with the Rays today and the break, and Leo Haggerty will join us in just a little bit. So quick break, and we'll come back on the other side, talk some more Bucs and Bolts. Stay with us. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close
He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo, and also brought to you by the good folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. They have got great sales going on. The after-holiday sale is on, and as usual, they have the best available, and I mean available like right there, diamonds that you can see, you can pick up, and you can see their clarity and show them to you. Not something that's going to be online. You have pictures of it. Do not trust buying diamonds online, folks. Go to the people that are trusted and have been here for decades in the Tampa Bay area, and that's the Gold and Diamond Source. And they do great things in the community as well. So they're not going anywhere. You're always going to be able to bring your diamond back there and get what you paid for it. And when you want to upgrade it, 0% financing for 5 years. They've got a lot of unique stuff there that you won't find anywhere else, like the Leave collection, the Malik collection. All of these things you will not be able to find anywhere else. You can get great watches, used and brand new. So check them out. It's like a toy store for adults in jewelry. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olman Road in Clearwater, 10 minutes from South Tampa over the Howard Franklin, and always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, the great Leo Haggerty joining us now to talk some Buccaneers football, maybe a little Bolts will mix in there, maybe some Rays. What's up, Leo? How are you?
Oh, JP, I'm just sitting here happy that I got a credential, and it was great to see you in the press box last Sunday.
Yeah, it was good to be seen, no doubt about it. It was great to be there for the playoff game. I have not missed one since they started going to the playoffs in 1997 when I got here. I'm not saying that it was, coincidence that when I got here they started going to the playoffs, but that's just facts. It's just facts, brother.
Exactly.
So, I'm excited about this week's game because I think it's going to be even bigger and more pro Buccaneers crowd because I know the Rams don't travel worth a crap. So this is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It looks like the weather is going to be good in the low 60s, a little bit of football weather, and I don't know. I'm excited about this game. What's your overall take on this matchup?
Well, JP, I'll tell you what. These two teams offensively are mirror images of each other in a sense that they want that ball out quick to the playmakers so they can just let them run forever and a day. The Bucs use a lot of motion and shifting, but no way near what the Rams do. The Rams are misdirection, motion, everything. And I'll tell you what, JP, I think it's going to be first 1 to 40. I think it's going to be a lot of points.
Really? See, I think just the opposite. I think both of these defenses are really, really playing well. You got some offensive lines banged up. I think it's going to be a little more difficult for the Bucs to run the ball. I don't know. I'm kind of going the other way. Talk me into what you're thinking.
Well, here's the thing. Tristan Wirtz is a big question mark, and his backup Wells is a question mark. So
right.
You got an offensive, and they're talking about moving Kappa out there.
Yes,
and
they should.
I truly hope they don't do that because now you're replacing two guys.
Oh, I disagree.
And again, we saw what happened with Kansas City when they tried to move those two guards out there and try to block Shaq and JPP. I tell you what. If they move Cap out there, you're going to see number 99 out there all day long. And let's see what you can do out there. I think to protect who's ever out there, you'll see a lot of 12 and 13 groupings, offensive groupings, just put a tight end out there to one now who's ever out there. But I just think that you're going to see the ball come out early. And it's hard to get pressure on a quarterback when he's throwing it in one Mississippi, two Mississippi, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's why I think these offenses are going to be a little bit simplistic. Of course, the defensive coordinators are going to know that. So I don't know. I just think we'll see. It could go. I mean, there's going to be a lot of explosive playmakers out there. There's no question about it. And you look at how this Rams offense kind of took it to the Bucs defense in that first matchup. They have no answer for Cooper Kupp over the last three matchups. He's averaging like 10 catches, 120 yards and a tutty against this defense. I mean, Todd Bowles needs to come up with something different. And what do you think that will be?
Well, you know what, JP, I think the advantage the Bucs have, and again, let's go back to the Chiefs game, the first game during the regular season.
Right.
There's only so much you can figure out on film in terms of speed.
Yeah.
And when Tyreek Hill showed up, they found out what speed was. And again, I asked all the Bucs DBs, I said, did you think he was that fast looking at film? He said, no, we didn't, but we saw what it is. The Buccaneers know what Cooper Kupp brings to the table. They've seen that. So, and again, the only thing Arizona did right Monday night was they took Cooper Kupp out of the game for a half. The problem was they couldn't score. I think you're going to see the Bucs try to do something like that and make them go basically to the run game for the Rams and make them go to Odell Beckham, go to Higbee. Again, Cooper Kupp is dynamite. And, you know, they're going to try to go to him as many times as they can. And the Buccaneers know that. I look for maybe a lot of zone blitzes, JP, where they go and make Stafford look and hold the football. That's going to be the key. If the quarterback has to hold the ball, because all of a sudden he gets what he didn't think he was going to get. And I think that's advantage Buccaneers because Brady's seen everything. Yeah. So he's going to be, and Arians had a great comment. He said, once Tom figures you out, game's over. Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
Well, you got to execute, obviously. And, you know, I think that no-huddle offense, they came out, and I thought it was a huge key to the game. And, you know, I was trying to get a question into the offensive players. I didn't get a chance to. And I was shocked nobody really asked him, Arians or Brady, about that, because that was, you know, that got him up 14-0 early. It got him off to a fast start and had the Eagles chasing the game. And I think it's a great strategy also against the Rams. And even if they know it's coming, you still got to defend against it, and you can't substitute. And with them down 2 safeties, they're going to want to do a lot of situational substitution. And if Brady can keep the same personnel on, because the Bucs can keep the same personnel and do a lot of different things offensively, and they're very versatile with that because of the tight ends that they have. And the running game, and especially if Fournette comes back, because he's more versatile. I don't know if they're going to run or going to pass. I think that's a huge advantage for the Bucs if they do that. And I think they should do it. What are your thoughts?
You know what, JP? I think you're going to see a lot of 12 and 13 personnel, and it's going to be one back, Evans, and 2 or 3 tight ends, because now it forces a safety or a linebacker to either cover Gronk, OJ, or Cameron Brate. Yeah, that's going to be a problem for the Rams, especially now they're playing with 2 backup safeties. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the 2 starters back.
No, I don't think so.
But again, you keep them on the field, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play Jalen Ramsey, because the Rams are basically a zone coverage team. Makes no sense if you're going to flop, Jalen Ramsey with Evans, because if you're playing zone, it's not going to matter a whole lot.
Right,
so it's going to be interesting to see. I think the Rams are going to try to put pressure and pressure up the middle, because according to Ron Jaworski, and I believe his litany, he said you cover a quarterback base problems, and that's what the Rams are going to try to do, is just get a lot of pressure up the middle.
Yeah, listen, this is no secret. I mean, there's no secrets that we're talking about here, but you got to go out and execute it. Yeah, I mean, they pressured Brady in the first game and tremendously at 16 pressures, 4 sacks. If that happens again, I don't think the Bucs have any chance of winning this game. They've got to come up with a different scheme. And I think back then, I think the Bucs were much more in tune for not doing as much play action, a lot of straight drop back, and against this Rams team, you can't do that. Now with Von Miller, not with Aaron Donald, you're going to have to vary it, get the ball out, get them tired, no huddle. That's the way to go, in my mind. That's the adjustment they have to make.
You're spot on. You and I should be the offensive defensive coordinators this week, because it's pretty easy to see what has to happen with what the Rams are going to try to do. Okay, they're going to try to put pressure. You got to put the running game. Again, if they can get the running game going where the linebackers have to honor it, that gets Gronk, and that gets the other tight ends behind the linebackers. And remember, Gronk got hurt in this game during the regular season, so they really didn't have him at full strength. So I look for Evans to get 8, 9, maybe 10 catches. I look for Gronk to get the same. And just the thing I like about Brady, he's going to hit the hot hand. If it's working, he doesn't care who gets the ball. And that's a great thing for a team, because they know that if somebody's having that kind of game, they're going to get the rock. That's huge.
Yeah, yeah. Leo Haggerty joining us here, editor-in-chief of It Sports Magazine. What are the key ingredients you think go to this particular game? How will it be different from the first matchup? I think very, very different because you got a lot of different characters. Cam Akers is back for them. Their running game, I think, is much better. And I thought it was very interesting in last week that Sean McVay went very, very conservative in terms of throwing the football and not let Matthew Stafford get them beat. Stafford's going to throw the ball more than 17 times to win this game. So how do you think Sean McVay plays it?
Well, you know what, JP, when you look at you've got to come 3,000 miles. That's the worst thing. And Mike Evans said it yesterday. He said, yeah, I don't care who we play. It's the travel that gets you. And, again, they're coming off a short week. Again, they had to play Monday night. If I'm McVay, I want to get the lead again because, remember, the Rams jumped out early in that first regular season game. But playing catch-up, then didn't have the catch-up mentality. Yeah. Because, again, remember, that was still the undefeated team. And there was a little bit of panic, I thought, saying, hey, we got to get back in the game. But, hey, you got 3 quarters left. Don't hit that panic button yet. But I think what Sean McVay needs to play with the lead. He needs to do all the hocus pocus before they snap the ball, all the window dressing to try to get the Buccaneers to move and to catch them maybe when they're changing defensive coverage and snap the ball. But I don't think you're going to see Matthew Stafford throw a lot of passes more than 10 yards down the field. It's just going to be dink and dunk and try to move the ball that way. Again, JP, the biggest thing is that secondary for the Bucs has to stay healthy. They get anybody their name. It would be terrible because right now they're 3 safeties and, Edwards is getting a lot of time. Yeah, he is. And the 2 corners that we're finally seeing a semi-healthy, almost healthy Buccaneers secondary. That's huge.
Yeah, and having Shaq back and JPP and Levante, for another week, and they're more healthy. I think that's huge. And again, they're battling the Rams and those 2 safety. I mean, Jordan Fuller was not only he's their leading tackler. I mean, he's one of the leaders on their defense. He's not going to be playing, and that's a big deal. They depend on him a lot to do a lot of different things, and the Bucs are going to tell you if it's Eric Weddle out there who. I think is a grandfather by now. You can expect the Bucs to take advantage of that.
Yeah, JP, the one thing that we haven't even talked about, if San Francisco beats Green Bay Saturday night, boy, does that kick everything up a notch because now you're playing for home field.
Yeah,
that makes a whole different dynamic.
Can you imagine if that, the energy level for the Buccaneers to be able to host another? Of course, the Rams will be playing for the same thing, but they probably won't be excited to see the 49ers coming at them again. But I think that's, with Bosa playing now, it looks like Bosa is trending towards playing, and Fred Warner. Look, the Packers are going to get a face full of a team that's very, very physical. And I know the Packers got some guys coming back as well. But, that 49ers team is coming at you. They're going to test your manhood. And I think if the Packers, if they're a very good team, they're a very good finesse team. I don't know if they can handle that smoke, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you what, JP, the biggest problem anybody has right now is going into Green Bay in January.
Right, exactly.
It's not going to be, Mother Nature has already got you up 10-0. Yeah. And that's huge because, the 49ers aren't used to the weather. The Rams aren't. The Buccaneers aren't. So whoever shows up there, it's going to be an issue. And the Packers are going to come out in short sleeves. Yeah. You can't just say, oh, it ain't cold. It ain't cold. Oh, man. It's going to be like that. But I tell you what, I'm hoping for the 49ers to win now. You got to understand, I'm married to a girl from Wisconsin, so she's probably going over for the sledgehammer to hit me. But that's just that's the best thing for the Bucs is to have that next home game.
All right, my friend. Tell everybody how they can get your content at It Sports Magazine.
Yeah, go to itsportsmag.com, and I'll tell you, JP, I got done putting up the article for the last Bolts game. How about that? 2 unassisted goals, 2 power plays, and 2 shorthanders before the end of the second period. That was a nutsy game in Los Angeles.
It was a great show for the folks of Hollywood. I thought the Bolts would put on a nice show, and they did. And Brian Bradley's coming on 11:30 today, and I told him I said I think Hedman is still skating. Go check. 32 minutes on the ice. My God, that was incredible. But hopefully they'll get some guys back for the Ducks tomorrow night. So
that'd be nice. And JP, last thing before I go, I have never seen a better pass than Kucherov made against Vancouver.
Was that
Full
unbelievable?
Length, tape to tape. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, he's playing. I think he's playing better than I've ever seen him play. I think he's taking it to another level, and that's hard to do when you're as good as he is. So. All right, partner. We will we'll catch up with you next. I'll see you at the game on Sunday. Should be fun.
I will be there, buddy.
All right.
Yeah, you were in my seat, so I was a little upset.
Oh, was I? Oh, okay. Well, sorry about that. Just
no problem. I
come sit next to me.
Higher. Will you have a great day?
All right, buddy.
Nick,
we'll see you.
Take care, buddy.
All right. Great Leo Haggerty there. No, I took his seat. I feel kind of bad about that now.
You make a return to the press box and you're already stirring things up now.
You know, they put all the Philadelphia media on the first row.
The first row?
First row, yeah. We get this, which I don't give rat's ass.
See, what's the best? The best is the first row, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It like Leo said, you sit up a little bit higher. It actually is a little bit of a better vantage. Either one bother me. He's only in the press box. I don't care. But I think it's it's nice though. The visiting, put their NBC guys and their local guys up front. Except John Clark, who comes on our show, is 6'5", and his big freaking head was in the mic. Had to keep looking around his big freaking head. So I'm like, come on, down in front. And he's moaning and groaning every time. He's doing his text messages through voice, so I can hear all the things. Or his Twitter reports. He's like, oh my God, Sirianni's lost his mind. He's like, I don't get a play-by-play of his snarky comments. It was actually kind of fun. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Dan Lucas coming up here in a little bit. News Channel 8. I'm still chasing this rumor about a Rays press conference. So far, the WFLA hasn't heard anything about it. Fox 13 hasn't heard anything about it. So this may be a false alarm, but we'll chase it down, and we'll have Dan Lucas joining us here in just a little bit. Stay with us. Attention home buyers or refinance candidates. It is a great time to purchase or refinance. Home values are going through the roof right now. You've got so much equity. Time to tap into that equity, get the cash, and make sure you're making the right financial decisions in your life. Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services in Tampa can help you out on all those fronts. I've known Fitz for over 30 years. He's done 3 of my mortgages. In fact, Scott has done over 3,000 loans in the Tampa Bay area for many of our coaches, athletes, from Bucs to Bulls. And he can save you big money. AMS is a wholesale broker. They will shop your loan to dozens of banks and let them compete for your business. Quick story, one listener had a done deal with a big national mortgage company, was promising a 2.75 interest rate. Well, when it came time to lock in, it was 3.25. Emailed Scott, got him the actual 2.75, saved him over $3,000 in first-year payments and $2,200 in lender's fees. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, scott@amstampa.com. JP here from my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in the corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Who wants free mobile service? I do, and you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, Just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. Well, it's never been more important to support each other and support local businesses like Italiano Insurance that has been around for over 60 years, serving our community with great customer service and also giving back to our locals in need. Their Metropolitan Ministries Holiday Food Drive was another tremendous success this year. Why call a 1-800 number when you can call your trusted neighbors at Italiano Insurance who will save you money? In Boca Grande, 941-964-0400. That's 941-964-0400.
Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. Wow. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the offices of Christopher Palermo. I want to remind you, if you are in the market for a refinance, my man Scotty Fitzgerald has got you covered. He came on last week and told us that rates are going up probably. He said they should actually be in the 5% level right now, but you can still get mid-threes if you're looking to refinance or get into a new house. You need to do it now. You need to lock in right now, and you can do it today by just emailing him. It's ams.com, scott@ams.com. He's been doing this for decades, done over 3,000 loans here, works with a lot of the coaches and players here. He's done 3 of my loans and just does a fantastic job. I mean, he is competitive. He wants to get you the lowest rate and the lowest fees, doesn't charge the big lender fees like the big banks do, and will pay for your appraisal if you mention the JP Show. It was a $500 to $700 value. And that really takes the big cost out of finding out how much money you can take out, right? Values have gone up 24% in the Tampa Bay region. So you could have a quarter, 1/4 more in your house than you think you have. You can access that money for a very, very low cost. It's like making money. You can invest that money right now and do some really good things with it. So find out what your options are, and Scott will help you with that. Scott@amstampa.com. Just give him an email and give him some information. He'd love to talk to you and tell you what's possible. So know your options right now and lock it in, because when they get up to 5%, it ain't coming back down for a while, and that can cost you big, big money. So Scott@amstampa.com. All right, I've checked with Kevin O'Donnell at Fox 13 and Dan Lucas, who we're going to have on here in just a few minutes. And neither one of them have heard of a Rays press conference, so this might be a little bit of a rumor. But Usually when I hear it from these people, something's bubbling up. So I'll be very interested to see what that is. Because I can't think of any, obviously the lockout is still going on. There's no real things that are happening with the Rays. This has to be related. They did announce yesterday that Brian Auld is going to do another community forum at Eddie V's in early February. I put it up on my Facebook page. I got to retweet that today. And we want the folks from Save Our Rays Full Season, all of you folks that are getting on board with us to fill that place. Eddie V's, I think tickets are $10 in advance. Let's get them and get a nice robust Q&A session going and debunk all these false narratives that the Rays are putting out. All right, listen, procedurally, we got to take a break to get Dan on, so we're going to take another quick break, just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere because my phone's blowing up. Something's going on with the Rays, and we're going to find out what it is, and Dan's going to talk to us about restaurants in Tampa Bay. Kay Adams from Good Morning Football was seeking restaurant recommendations, and everybody's jumping online, so we'll get into that as well. Stay with us. PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Like Italiano Insurance that has been around for over 60 years, serving our community with great customer service and also giving back to our locals in need. Their Metropolitan Ministries holiday food drive was another tremendous success this year. Why call a 1-800 number when you can call your trusted neighbors at Italiano Insurance who will save you money? In Boca Grande, 941-964-0400. That's 941-964-0400.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. And the Valspar Championship coming up March 14th through the 20th. Get your tickets now at ValsparChampionship.com. They're going to sell out the premium events, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Saturday tickets with Chris Young and Big and Rich concert afterwards, the Publix Chill Lounge, the Snake Hopper Pass, get you into all that hospitality. They're going to sell out. They just announced Xander Schauffele yesterday, and we'll have more information on the Valspar as the guys continue to commit. Dustin Johnson is in. All the big names, Brooks Koepka, going to be fun. All right, speaking of fun, here's our man Dan Lucas, WFLA News Channel 8 Sports Director. What's up, my friend? How are you?
JP, how are you doing, man? I slept late today.
Good for you.
I was working late last night, so Steve's here in the morning. I'm raring to go. And you had asked me before we spoke about the Rays today. Yeah. And I have the answer here because I just got a release. It's a 1:00 Zoom media availability with Stu Sternberg. So
really,
that's it. There's no topic, just just says what, when, that type of thing. So Stu is doing an availability at 1:00.
Really, like taking questions from the general media.
Yeah. So
hell yeah, I'm gonna hop on that sucker. Yeah. No, I don't. You think what chances that the moderator gives me a question?
It does say you have to put your full name on there in your outlet on your stream. So unless you could come up with something real quick, I'm
going to put on there Kennesaw Mountain Landis, Mr. Mr. Landis.
Yeah. So, JP today. Call yourself Jean-Pierre from the Montreal Baseball Gazette.
Yes, maybe that'll work. I'll give it a little French accent. Well, that's interesting. What do you think this might be about? Their sister city scheme?
Well, I would imagine that that will come on the table, and I also think that I think that it's important for baseball to face up to this lockout issue that's going on, especially on the heels of the Rays aren't the only team, but everybody's releasing their spring training ticket info and moving forward. And look, we know it's all going to happen, but the problem is we're away from pitchers and catchers.
Yeah.
And the clubs can't even contact their own people to see if they're working out or how they're doing. You know what I mean? It's going to be last second chaos.
Right.
To get spring training started on time. If these guys get this lockout solved, which right now they've had one meeting and it didn't go well, which is expected.
Yeah, they're miles apart. I would expect this to be certainly a late start to I just got another message. Look at this. Wow. I'm getting my phone's blowing. It's been blowing up. Something's going on. This one says heard rumblings that the MLB has declined the sister city plan. Shocking development. Wow. Which, because, and by the way, we've been talking about this. They went up and did their presentation to the owners at the last meeting. And of course, Manfred's statement was, well, we tabled the motion because of the CBA and everything that's going on. And, if they had them come up there and do a presentation, they were going to table it anyway. Why did they have them come up there and do it? And what Manfred was saying without saying it is, no, we're not giving them that go ahead. There's no momentum for this. Certainly not in Montreal in any way. So yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this for a while, that this is not going to pass muster with the MLBPA. It's not going to pass muster with the other owners. They're not going to give up an expansion market so Stu can go there and take money away from the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, none of it made sense from the very beginning. So if this is going to sink the sister city plan, I mean, we had a big rally planned. I'm doing a Zoom organizational meeting. I guess I'm going to have to do it now. We've won. So that's good. So if this is the happen, we don't know, but if MLB is going to decline their sister city plan, that's great, right? Because then now we can all move forward, head up, eyes open. Let's get this done in downtown Tampa. Let's do it. Let's do it in Ybor City.
If that's the case, that's a massive development for sure. And we can laugh and all want. I think the other side too, and I know that you have a really good relationship with Ken Hagan.
Yeah.
In Hillsborough County and Tampa. All sides need to now listen, pay attention to what's going on, and I think that the public should listen and pay attention to what's going on when reports of money and offers and who's paying for what come out. It's a big deal. It's important.
Well,
go ahead.
I've said this from the very beginning that Major League Baseball first and foremost does not want to leave this market, and they also want to get the stadium thing solved. And I think they finally realized through this lawsuit, which has detailed a lot of stuff that Stewart's been doing that other owners did not know. And how much money he has, then they've been giving him revenue sharing. I think that the tide turned against him from an owner standpoint. And if they see that they know what, look, if I know that the TSA is going to come out and say the half season plan doesn't work for us, we're not going to give you much money for it. If you want to do it, it's all on you. But the full season plan, we're all in. We'll give you half. We'll help you with infrastructure. We can make this happen. And the numbers work for us, obviously. I mean, building a stadium that's going to cost 3/4 of a quote, full season stadium and losing half the revenue. I mean, even a moron like me can do the math on that. It just doesn't work.
Right.
So I think the Rays know this, and they know, and this is now MLB certainly knows that it doesn't work, and there's no momentum in Montreal, and it's just time to MLB, I'm sure is told Stu, get the deal done, man. Everybody, the Braves, the Rangers paid half, pay your half, get the deal done, and let's move on.
Yeah, everybody's breaking ground and building new ballparks, and And the Braves ballpark is I can't wait to go to it, and it's going to be gorgeous. I love I know people who live right around it, and it was already a nice area waiting for that. But those ballparks revitalize areas. The locations that I've seen for the Rays that have been in the media the past year or so, I think would be tremendous to revitalize and pump in and get this area really cooking.
Oh yeah,
around that.
Yeah.
And I do. I believe in it. I've said from the beginning when this sister plan came out and you and I spoke, I said in the end, this is going to work out with the Rays staying here full time somehow. And maybe if what you're hearing is correct, then that's a step in that direction.
It's funny. I didn't even realize this, but because I'm texting with Kevin O'Donnell as well from Fox 13, and he reminded me that who's available at about 1 o'clock today on Zoom, Tom Brady. So if you're Stu Sternberg and you want to get this, if there's news that's bad and you want to bury it, get a Zoom availability at 1 o'clock while Brady's on and the local media is on with Brady during playoff week. I mean, the Rays, you just but hey, listen, I get
through there.
We're not going to get called on. Rick Stroud gets 7 questions with Brady. We won't get any anyway. So let's go grill Stu and see what's up. That'll be interesting. All right. Hey, let's talk some Bucs. Just your thoughts on last week's game, what you learned, and how this matchup with the Rams sets up. What are your thoughts?
Well, my first thought is I'm just extremely concerned about the offensive line, the health. It's just, to me, when you say, all right, the Bucs, first of all, the Bucs are elite, and the Rams did a rebuild for this very game, and they ditched their quarterback. They went all in. The Rams fell short at Green Bay last year, and looked in the mirror and said, "This is what we need to do." And so the Bucs and Green Bay and Kansas City were the standard, and so that's what they've done and matched. They're coming in here with one of the great pass rushes and front fours, and one that tortured the Bucs in Week 3. And I just feel like I've always felt that losing 1A, the worst loss you can suffer, is the name everybody knows. 1B is one of the 2 offensive tackles. And I think everybody else, no matter what the name is on the team, is interchangeable with somebody who can step up. But losing one of your tackles is just death. Yeah. And that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about Tristan Wirfs. I doubt he even test his ankle at all this week.
Yeah, I mean, if it's high ankle,
that's going to be tough.
Yeah,
well, that's going to be tough.
I was talking with Leo Haggerty earlier, and I think their best lineup in that case is after what I saw from Josh Wells, who's battling a quad injury as well. I mean, Josh Wells is not, he's not a great tackle anyway, serviceable, but when he's injured, if you got a healthy Alex Kappa who knows how to play right tackle, and Aaron Stinney, who played so well in the playoffs last year at right guard, it's not like you're putting in a neophyte there. To me, that's your best lineup right there. What do you think?
I agree, and I don't think it's worth taking any chances if Wirfs is not ready to go. Just to make inactive him, and that puts Nick Leverett on the active roster, who's another interchangeable guy. Nick Leverett can also play center too, if Ryan Jensen's not ready to go or something happens during the game. So unless not only can he play, but he's got to be himself. He's got to be, Tristan Wirfs. I don't want 75% Tristan Wirfs.
No,
that's pretty good still, but not against the Rams pass rush.
Yeah,
and so they just got to make sure that is the best offensive line possible. And then now you can let Byron Leftwich, Bruce Arians work the play calling to protect Brady a little bit, get rid of the ball as quick as they can, and then maybe you keep a running back there just as a safety type thing to block more. But changes your game plan when that position's in jeopardy, and at least this time they know what's coming. Wirfs goes down early in that Philly game, and you thought
yeah.
So they adjusted nicely, but now they have at least a week to plan for
it. Dan Lucas, News Channel 8, joining us here. So I got to, because you and I like food. We like to talk restaurants. So Kay Adams from Good Morning Football, you know her, right? On the NFL Network. I know you do.
I've seen her once or twice.
Yeah. So she tweeted out, "Hey, I'm coming to Tampa. Give me some restaurants." So I thought it was real interesting. You get a lot of Marco Bucks at Oxford Exchange, Armature Works, Charlie's Steakhouse. I'm good with all that. Here's a good one. Definitely not downtown. You have to go to the Refinery, Ella's for brunch, and Fresh Kitchen, South Tampa. I love Ella's, by the way. Have you been to Ella's in the Heights and the Refinery?
I have not.
Oh,
no,
bro.
I have not.
Oh, my God. Greatest pork chop in Tampa. Meatloaf. I mean, they got the comfort food, man. It's just a cool vibe up there. So if you were going to give Kay Adams some recommendations, breakfast, lunch, brunch, dinner, where are you going?
Well, I'm going the opposite of the top end. I want you to go into West Tampa.
Yes.
I want you to park your car at Arco Iris or La Teresita.
Yeah.
And I want you to sit at the counter, and I want you to order the Cuban full hot pressed, maybe some beans and rice. I don't know, bring it out like 50 cents
with onions.
And that's what we're known. That's what we're known for.
Yeah.
I think anybody
West
comes
Tampa,
from out of town.
West Tampa sandwich shop too.
About
right around
$9.
the corner. Yeah.
Cost you about $9.
Yeah.
Instead of 100, it cost you 10.
Exactly. What about dinner? What are you doing for dinner? Where are you taking Kay Adams for dinner?
Oh well, if I'm at dinner with Kay Adams, then I'm not driving the car I drive. That's the first thing. We'll work on upgrading that. Yeah, exactly. One of those black cars.
Uber, black car Uber. Yes.
I'll get the black car.
Yeah.
How much is a ride to Burn Steakhouse? 200. Sold. Oh,
Is that coming
up?
up?
I think the ultimate out of town. You know what? I think the out of town experience is Burns. I know it sounds cliche, but from the minute you step out of the car, walk through the doors, it's different. And dinner takes 4 hours.
Yes.
And you
do the kitchen tour, the wine cellar tour, dessert room. Yeah, that's quintessential Tampa Bay. Yeah.
So that's where I'm going. And now, of course, you got all those places around on Howard, the rooftop bars to have a cocktail later. It's an experience. Something you can do in January with freezing. And that's a fun night right there.
Yeah, I might for a little slice of the Tampa nightlife do meat market, because that's where all the celebrities are seen in Fort Beachy and Hyde Park. There you gotta go by there for part of the day. Goody for breakfast, pretty damn good too. That big banana pancake they serve there, whoa, that's too good. Ukulele, good stuff. All right, brother. Listen, go chase that race. Timpano.
I'm going to throw out Timpano too,
open.
JP. Yeah, they reopened. One of my favorite places. Yes, exactly.
You know
a
what,
lot of places.
You know what though? They got rid of the live band and they're doing DJ now. No.
Okay, well, I got to see. I haven't been yet.
I was disappointed.
That's one of the best places in Tampa to have dinner at the bar.
Yeah,
Timpano.
I totally agree. All right, my brother. I got to get to Brian Bradley. He's on next. We're going to talk some bolts with him. Go chase that Rays story. Can't wait to hear Stu on a Zoom call. That'd be fantastic. All right, buddy. Thanks, bud. Great Dan Lucas, News Channel 8.
Be good.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Brian Bradley's going to talk some lightning with us after that big win in L.A. Victor Hedman still skating in the Crypto.com Center, I believe, where Westbrook has been benched. Big story. We'll hear about it here. Stay with us. Attention home buyers or refinance candidates. It is a great time to purchase or refinance. Home values are going through the roof right now. You've got so much equity. Time to tap into that equity, get the cash, and make sure you're making the right financial decisions in your life. Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services in Tampa can help you out on all those fronts. I've known Fitz for over 30 years. He's done 3 of my mortgages. In fact, Scott has done over 3,000 loans in the Tampa Bay area for many of our coaches, athletes, from Bucs to Bulls. And he can save you big money. AMS is a wholesale broker. They will shop your loan to dozens of banks and let them compete for your business. Quick story, one listener had a done deal with a big national mortgage company who was promising a 2.75 interest rate. Well, when it came time to look in, it was 3.25. Email Scott, got him the actual 2.75, saved him over $3,000 in first-year payments and $2,200 in lender's fees. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, scott@amstampa.com.
Who wants free mobile service? I do, and you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to
$586-0005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
Fan Team Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. The second half of the JP Peterson Show is brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. They are different. It's a different approach. It's a whole body approach. It's personalized. It's preventative medicine, and also have testosterone replacement. That's not your one-size-fits-all approach. They look at body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. You can find them at BAMMC.com. Great folks over there at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Christopher Lugo. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Brian Bradley, the Lightning's first All-Star and leading scorer for those first few years, and a man that knows Canada very well. And the breaking news that we're hearing is that the Sister City plan may be going up in smoke. MLB looks like they're going to turn it down. That's the word I'm getting. Stu Sternberg is going to be doing an availability at 1 o'clock today, same time that Tom Brady's talking, Brian Bradley. So as a professional athlete, if you were a baseball player, would you like to play half your games in Tampa and half in Canada, Montreal?
Yeah. No. How's that sound, JP? Like, no. I mean, honestly, like, you know what? I can understand what they're trying to do, but it does.
from a player standpoint of view, I mean, to have two houses, to play in two cities, to move your families around, like you're going to pay, have a condo in Montreal and a condo in Tampa or St. Pete's, and then you're going to pay taxes. Like, I mean, taxes in Canada are 60%, 50 or 60% over $1 million. Like, I wouldn't even want to play here. I mean, I'm being honest with you. I mean, because like that doesn't even make, I mean, I can't imagine it even going through from the Players Association, because who would want to do that?
Right. And we've said this all along. And, the Rays keep spewing the smoke and mirrors BS that they can do this. And it's all about Stu wanting to get 3 television contracts and get two municipalities to give him $350 million in stadium subsidies. It's all about him. And we knew it eventually would collapse. So, if indeed the rumor is true, they're having a 1 o'clock availability with Sternberg, and the MLB has declined the sister city plan. What's his next move? We'll see. But all we know now is that the Bolts are playing some great hockey. They've been beat up all year long. They're getting everybody back. And how about that game the other night in LA, partner? That was fun to watch. That was especially what Hedman and the defenders did, playing with 4 guys.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, it was a big win. It was a big win. I mean, you know what? The boys played really well. I mean, when you look at 6-4 against Los Angeles. I mean, and Los Angeles, I think, is in second place in the Pacific. So, I mean, you know what? We only had 4 defensemen in the game, which is unbelievable because Ruda, Bogosian, I don't know, Chernak. I think.
Yeah, he was out.
I can't remember who. There was 3 guys out, and they couldn't even. Schuster was there, but they were just over the cap with their money because he's there for COVID on the taxi squad, so they couldn't even bring another guy in for that game. And I mean, you know what? I can't say enough about Victor Hedman. I mean, 2 goals and assists. I mean, Vasilevsky in net, but I'm going to talk about Victor Hedman. I mean, You know what? To me, JP, I mean, I've said this all along. I said it like last year and the last couple of years. When Victor Hedman jumps into the play like he did, he's such a threat. It's ridiculous. That's part of his game. It's taken a while for him to get comfortable doing. Defensively, he's been great. Power play, doing stuff like that. But 5-on-5, he reminds me of Ray Bork now. Ray Bork, when we played, was such a threat, number 77 for the Boston Bruins. And now I see Hedman, has been in the league a long time, starting to do similar things to Ray Bork. Great shot, jumps in the play, uses his speed. I mean, a big guy. I love the way Victor's going, and he's elevated his game to the next level. He's got himself to like an elite superstar right now, and you know what? It's just fun to see. Great first goal, gets a breakaway, and then gets a nice feed pass from Kucherov, walks in and buries it. He's got a great shot. He's got a great shot on the one-timer from the point, but jumping into play, he's such a threat, and it's fun to watch. I love it.
Yeah, and the fact that Hedman had, what did he skate? 32 minutes and 37 seconds. I mean, what's that like? Not that you've ever done it, but maybe in Pee Wee hockey, I don't know. What is that like?
Well, you know what? Victor Hedman's a horse. He can skate forever. I mean, just think of that. What was him and Seth Jones in the 5 overtime games played 80 minutes or something like that? It was ridiculous, the amount of minutes they played. But you don't want to do that all the time. I mean, obviously, this is something special. And Victor Hedman, he could put minutes on like that in the playoffs, but you don't want to be doing it game in, game out right now. But we'll get guys back from injury. They'll have to call guys up or whatever they need to do. But it's such a fun thing to watch, and I love when Victor jumps in because he's such a threat. I mean, he just makes things happen with his speed, and he can always get back because he's such a great skater. I mean, he can always get back into play. But that's what I've been saying for a long time. I think Victor Hedman needs to get up into play, make stuff happen. Be that fourth forward once in a while and take a chance. I mean, and when he does it, he's awesome. And then, you got Vasilevsky, and, then you got our power play's crazy with Point. And now you got Kucherov back. You've got 2 guys like the other night. Stamkos, him and Ovechkin can shoot the puck one-timers, but don't count Kucherov out because now you got the goalie thinking Stamkos is going to shoot. It goes to Hedman, to Stamkos, back to Kucherov. Kucherov lays a bomb one-timer. So it's crazy. You know what? how good these guys are on the power play with their one-timers, because you've got two guys that can one-time shots. And that's, when you got a power play that can do that, that's deadly. It's like dynamite. You cannot defend that. I don't know what goalie can do. He has no idea. Yeah, you take away Stamkos.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. But when they throw it to Kucherov, it's in the net before the goalie can move. So, you can't defend Stamkos anymore. And then you got Point and Korn down low.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to throw it out there. I thought Matthew Joseph, played really good the other night. Had an assist, a nice goal. McDonough makes a sliding, takes a shot, uses his speed. So you know what? Matthew Joseph played really well last night. When he skates like that and uses his speed, he's deadly.
Yeah, and now he's learned how to finish. And that great pass to Belmar as well for the shorty. I mean, that was tremendous. You get so many contributions. But Brian Bradley joining us here. You mentioned Kucherov, and is he playing better now than I think he's playing better now than I've ever seen him. I don't know if it's the fresh legs, some perspective he got sitting on the sideline, but it seems like his anticipation is even better. The pass the other night, the full length to Colton for the goal. I mean, is it better than we've ever seen it?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's got another level. You know what? I think he's playing really good, but I think he showed in the playoffs last year he's got another level.
Yeah.
I think he's getting back into it. His vision, his sight, his one-time, his hockey puck sense is on a scale of 1 to 10, 12. He's in a different level than anybody in the NHL. Even McDavid or Ryan or Nate McKinnon, he's in a different level. Kucherov sees plays like Gretzky and Lemieux. No one else sees that stuff. And you know what? That's why he's so deadly. Do I think he's playing his best? No. I think he's playing about an 8 out of 10 in my scale. I thought last year in the playoffs he was a 10, but Kucherov an 8 out of 10 is better than anybody in the NHL. He could be a 5 or 6 out of 10 and still beat most guys, but he can go to the next level. I've seen it before. We've seen it in the playoffs. He's getting back into it. You know what? He'll get more comfortable. His compete level will go up, and I think he's got another gear in him, just like Hedman's doing. I think Stamkos is playing over the top good. You know what? I got to give kudos to Stamkos and Vazzy. Stamkos to me has been unbelievable this year. Like, he has been rock solid, scoring and playing, and all his points he's getting on the board. Just love his game. Just too bad they can't go to the Olympics, because this is his only time. The next time around, he won't have the chance.
Yeah, I know. That sucks. That whole Olympic thing sucks. But I'll tell you what, Brad, it's going to be in the Lightning favor. They've got 3 games to reschedule. And they're going to have 2 weeks to do that. I think other teams are going to have more games rescheduled. I think it's going to, get them healthy and get them ready to roll going into the playoffs. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. And like I said, some teams are going to have to play 10, 12 games to make up 8 games. We only have 3. I'm not sure why the New Jersey game, but we've already talked about that one. But I can understand the Colorado and the Arizona. But those dates are already made up. I think we play the 10th and 11th, something like that, in Colorado and Phoenix. And then we play the 14th or 15th in New Jersey. So, at the end of the day, hey, we're number 1 in the NHL. We're the best team in the NHL. You know what? We got 59 points with 27 wins and 9 losses. So, you know what? You can't, you got to, everybody deserves credit, from John Cooper and his coaching staff to the players to everybody. It's fun to see the fans at Amalie. It's exciting. And you know what? Just knock on wood. If I don't care who we play in the first round, because if we're healthy and we're playing the way we are, it's just like the Bucs. They're hard to beat with Tom Brady at quarterback. He's the man. That's what they say.
That's for damn sure. All right, Brad's great stuff as always, my friend. Appreciate your time. We're going to jump on this Rays story here, because it looks like I'm being told that the Major League Baseball is saying that it is dead. The sister city is dead. The Wicked Witch is dead. Yes. Now,
not surprised, JP.
No,
not surprised. Another good one. Go Bulls.
You're the best, Brian Bradley. All right, we will take a quick break, and we're going to come back to you with the breaking news. I'm getting confirmation now that the Sister City plan is dead. That's what Stu Sternberg's going to talk about at 1 o'clock. So quick 2-3 minute break. We'll come back and give you the breaking news and what we know and what's next. What will Stu do next? We've been on top of this from the very beginning, but pretty good idea the next bit. Stay with us. Attention home buyers or refinance candidates. It is a great time to purchase or refinance. Home values are going through the roof right now. You've got so much equity, time to tap into that equity, get the cash, and make sure you're making the right financial decisions in your life. Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services in Tampa can help you out on all those fronts. I've known Fitz for over 30 years. He's done 3 of my mortgages. In fact, Scott has done over 3,000 loans in the Tampa Bay area for many of our coaches, athletes, from Bucs to Bulls. And he can save you big money. AMS is a wholesale broker. They will shop your loan to dozens of banks and let them compete for your business. Quick story, one listener had a done deal with a big national mortgage company, was promising a 2.75 interest rate. Well, when it came time to lock in, it was 3.25. Emailed Scott, got him the actual 2.75, saved him over $3,000 in first-year payments and $2,200 in lender's fees. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, scott@amstampa.com.
Who wants free mobile service? I do, and you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. JP here from my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian, graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Second hour brought to you by the Bay Area Modern Medical Center. You can reach them at BAMMC.com. Also brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo, who's going to join us tomorrow. He is the man behind the Sister City, the No Sister City Plan TV commercials, and was the muscle behind our Raise Rally
to appeal to the city leaders to no sister city plan. So I guess our rally may not happen now if this is what we're being told, is that the MLB will tank the sister city plan. Of course, we've been telling you that for months and months. We were first to report last week that the TSA's feasibility study on the split city sister city plan was going to come back as a full negative, that the city is not interested in that. If at all, it's going to be on the Rays to pay for the whole stadium. So it was basically dead in the water. But they are very much in favor of the full season plan. And as I've been telling you for a long, long time, folks, the worm has turned as far as MLB and ownership on Stu Sternberg. Where at first they were very, upbeat about this sister city idea. Once the lawsuit came out and these other owners saw how much money Stu had, and they believe the other partners, by the way, in this lawsuit. They believe everything in that lawsuit is true. This is what I'm being told. And you could see it in ownership's, some of the quotes from the other owners, the fact that the Rays went up to the baseball winter meetings, gave their presentation, and the MLB owners did not give them the territorial exploration rights that they were seeking. No matter what the Times wants to report or what kind of lipstick they want to put on that pig, the owner said no. And now that they're in the CBA negotiations, and certainly it would have come up, the sister city idea, and it went down exactly as I told you it would, that the owners are going to have to give up something to let Stu Sternberg, who's been bilking them out of revenue sharing money and kicking their ass, by the way, for years and years and years. No, they're not going to do that. And give up something to the Players Association? No, they're not going to do that. And that's why MLB is tanking this plan. Plus the fact that there's no momentum in Montreal for the sister city plan either. So the question, and we've told you this all along, that this was the way it was going to go. It was a harebrained idea from the very beginning. It doesn't work. And I think what Major League Baseball has come to figure out is that Stu is the problem. We've been saying this for a long, long time. It's not the mayors here, the 7 mayors that he's dealt with, or whatever the hell it is, or the county commissions, or everybody else, or the fans, that the Times will make you believe it's everybody else's fault but Stu. No, this has always been about Stu and his greed. And it's a ridiculous idea. It's not going to work. And MLB has officially tanked it. Now, what's the next move? What is Sternberg going to say today? Well, I expect him to, I don't know what kind of face he's going to try to save in this deal, but he'll probably entrench and say, well, now we're going to have to look at other markets more appropriately, Nashville and Las Vegas. But again, the Major League Baseball owners have no appetite to give him an expansion market when they can make money off of those markets. Why would they do that? Major League Baseball does not want to leave this burgeoning, exploding market where they already have an established fan base, top 5 TV ratings, in a franchise that is doing well on the field as well. And it's in a municipality that's willing to give them half to build a stadium, just like the Braves and the Rangers did. We've been saying this for so long. This is where the common sense comes in. Now, is Stu going to entrench and just say, well, then we're going to look at other markets? Okay, fine. You can do that as a negotiating ploy. But the bottom line is Major League Baseball wants to get this done so they can expand to these other markets. And I think MLB is telling Stu Sternberg, get the damn deal done. Get it done now, and let's be done with this. There's too much optimism. There's too many great things going on. I mean, I hope he pivots and said, hey, we tried. It was good. It was worth exploring, but it's just not going to happen. So now we can turn our full attention to building this great ballpark like we wanted to do. But the shame of this whole thing is if Stu Sternberg would have gone through with what he said he was going to do in 2018. I looked at the press conference again last night where he says, we're confident, we're committed to the area, we love the area, Ybor City is great, the design is great, blah, blah, blah. If he'd have done it then, we'd be breaking ground. We'd be in that stadium next year. We'd be starting in that thing would almost be done. And now we got to wait another 3 years to get in it. And that's a shame. But anyway, we're going to be all over this all day long. So stay with us on at FanStream JP, at Nick Geddes News, at the JP Peterson Show. We may do some emergency press conferences online after Stu's press availability. Tom Brady's talking today as well. We'll be all over that. So we never shut up, folks. We're always working. So stay with us. We'll have the latest and the best interpretation of what's going on. You know that we've been leading this charge from the very start. We ain't going to stop now. We will have all the information. So stay with us. If you need any more, we talked about it on the show all day today. Go back and download the app and go back to the beginning and pick up all the stuff we had today because we reported it first at 10:15. Stay with us. The story goes on. We'll see you tomorrow.